Hi, my name's Nathan. I'm a naturopath, nutritionalist and herbalist from the Beyond Good Health Medical Clinic on the Gold Coast. I've been practicing for over a decade with other integrative doctors, kinesiologists, naturopaths and psychologists. All that experience has taught me we need to be focusing on one thing, and that is the environment that we live in. Now you're here because you're interested in your health. You want to improve it. You may already be eating organic foods, going to the farmers markets, growing your own food, taking supplements, nutrigenomics, even using wearable tech devices to enhance your health. What I'd like to share with you is the one thing you're doing every day consistently that can enhance all of this and make it all work so much better. According to the Loma Linda School of Medicine in America, they say of the top 10 diseases that we face that are killing us, 8 of them have been linked to this substance called molecular hydrogen that can be used as a way of preventing and enhancing those conditions. Now, if you were able to do this one thing, and that would be drinking water with this substance within it, is this something that you would consider doing? It's not a pill that you have to take, a supplement you have to remember to mix up. You don't have to strap it to you. You just have to use a machine that can use water as a medium to put this substance inside. Now that same substance is going to be alongside all these other ionic minerals that the machine can basically split apart from water. It can also have a negative charge within the water itself. Our cells operate a lot more healthily when we are having a negative charge. It just allows all of the electrical signals to work better and the communication between our brain and every single organ. So if you want to have a machine that's able to turn water into a substance that's living, full of ionic minerals and this molecular hydrogen, let's head over now and take a look at exactly what it is, how it works, and I'm going to give you a few visual demonstrations so you can understand what it's doing inside the body. Okay, so the next test is a very visual test. Imagine your body comprised of fluid, that's our environment, that all of our cells are living in, and we have everyday stress and inflammation and oxidative stress. So if we put in 150 ml each of water, this is going to give us a visual of the starting environment of our body. Okay, so we're going to use iodine, which is a very strong reduction agent, oxidation agent, sorry. An oxidation agent is something that damages cells. Once the cells have become damaged, let's say you've got a cut and you're putting it on the skin, it's killing the bacteria, but it's also killing your skin cells around the cut. So we're going to put 10 drops in each. And again, you're going to see the difference between the waters. Okay, we're going to give that a stir. And you'll be able to see from that point that they're all going to be the same. So, visually, imagine this as your body. Everyday stress and inflammation is what that would look like. We're going to be drinking spring water. We're going to top this up to 100. Actually, let's do 150. And you'll see that it has diluted it. And virtually, you're peeing out toxins every day for that exact purpose. Now we're going to do the same thing with alkaline water. And you can see the same thing, that it has diluted it. And then we're going to use tap water. Okay, so that's all you're drinking. And now we're going to use the Kangen water to see, does this just dilute it, or is the Kangen water between the molecular hydrogen and the negative charge able to reduce it, as in provide electrons to reduce the oxidation of the iodine. So I'm going to slow this down because I want to just put in enough until I see it change. Okay. There we are. So that's 100 ml compared to 150 ml of the spring water. I'll pop it down on the piece of paper and then fold it up behind so you can see the difference between the four. So what that demonstrates is a visual for you to understand when drinking this water that it's doing more than just providing hydration for the body. It's actively going throughout the body and repairing. Now, the reason why it changed colour is because it was able to take iodine, which is a very strong oxidant, and change it into its ionic form called iodide, which obviously doesn't have a colour, and that's why you see the colour change. These three here is still as the oxidant iodine, and therefore that's why they're all still quite yellow. Whereas the one on the end through the Kangen water, it's now iodide, the one that's safe for us to drink. So that's the test at looking at how toxic our bodies are and what are we putting in our bodies to do something about that. Drinking this water is going to have a much greater effect on your health than any of these other waters. Now that you have some background in this amazing machine, you're going to see a visual representation of what's going to happen in the body as you drink it. Now, we talk about oxidation, inflammation. These two things are damaging to the body. Oxidation, think of it visually as an apple being cut in half and going brown. This is damage being done to the cells of the apple, and if you can think about our cells through inflammation, bad diet, stress, lack of sleep, our life in general, our cells are being damaged and we're accelerating aging. So what can we do to reduce the oxidation? We're going to look at the various different types of water to see, are they either going to contribute towards oxidation, or are they a reduction, meaning they reduce it? And there's an exchange of electrons on a more scientific level that is the cause of the reduction. Something is giving electrons, or if something is oxidizing, taking it away. Another way to think about it is a car with four wheels. If a free radical comes along and steals a wheel off the car that's very unstable, you just had oxidation happen to your cell. Now, if an antioxidant comes along and gives an electron, this is a reduction. It's restabilization of the cell. So we're about to see, is any of this water reducing or is it oxidizing? So let's start with the spring water, since that's the one that most people will be drinking. And it may range from 70 cents to $3-4 depending on where you get it from. I'm going to try and keep these even, so 150 ml in each. The alkaline water, probably about $3 or $4. Again, depends on where you're going to get it. 50. Then we're going to get some tap water. And then we're going to use the machine, which is not only filtering the water, but making the molecular hydrogen, separating all of the minerals, making them ionic in their ionic form, and giving it a negative charge, which we're about to see firsthand. Okay, so first test is using an ORP meter, which measures the oxidation reduction potential. Think of a car with 4 wheels. You're driving the car and an antioxidant is protecting you from oxidative stress. But imagine you didn't have enough, and through inflammation and free radicals, one of your wheels was lost. That's going to create quite an unstable car, or in this instance, our cell. Now that's when oxidation has occurred. You've just damaged the cell and it can no longer function as it should. Now when something is reduced, an antioxidant comes along or some other substance and is able to provide another electron, or the wheel, and get the car running nice and stable again, your cell. So again, another visual, cutting an apple in half, one goes brown, that's oxidation, damage to the cells. So this shows us on a number how oxidating a substance is. So we're looking at spring water, we have around 320. Okay? Now the next one we're going to do is the alkaline water. Move these out of the way. Faring a little better, around 260. Now let's move on to the tap water. And this time we're up at 560. So again, the more positive, the greater the damage. The more oxidizing it's doing, the more electrons it's taking, or the wheels in the car it's taking. We're doing the Kangen water. As you can see, it's a very strong reduction, as in it is able to provide a electron, and that's what's giving it a negative charge. We're up around negative 775. Typically around negative 700 to negative 800 is what I get from this machine. So that's just the number showing you from positive 500 of tap water to negative 750 of the Kangen water, the power of having the molecular hydrogen and also having a negative charge. Now, just because a substance has a negative charge doesn't always mean it also has the molecular hydrogen. So that's why we are then going to use a molecular hydrogen machine to test. So let's start with the spring water. As you can see, 0. We're going to move on and do the alkaline water. You can also see 0. We go and do the tap water, and of course 0. You go and do the Kangen, and usually I'll see this around 1700 on this device here. What I might do is just click hold. So if you can move the camera up closer, I'm holding the hold button. And that's 1700 in parts per million. So what 1700 parts per million is referencing is the amount of molecular hydrogen detected in the solution. And when you're looking at a lot of those studies, especially the one, the university, the Loma Linda in America, a lot of the studies for different conditions are using around 0.5 to 1.5 parts per million. So if this is 1.7, we know we're at that therapeutic level. Now this stays at 1.7 in a stainless steel bottle for 3 days. Often I'm looking at molecular hydrogen water, and the manufacturer says you need to be drinking this as soon as it's opened, otherwise it's gone. And the next test is using the H2 blue drops. This is something that you can purchase yourself if you want to test out the quality of your water. Methylene blue, like the iodine, is a very strong oxidant. but it detects the amount of molecular hydrogen in water. So we're just going to narrow it down to just the alkaline water and the Kangen water this time. So if we put in the exact amount, which is 20 ml of the alkaline water, and we're going to add a drop of the methylene blue, you're going to see that it stays blue, which is telling us there is 0 parts per million of molecular hydrogen. Had that turned that clear, then that was able to basically quench or reduce the oxidant and neutralize it, but it was unable to. So this is not only an oxidant, and it also does not contain molecular hydrogen, as shown by both the test meter and the drops. So we're now going to rinse that and do the same test with the Kangen water. So again, think of this test as a way of how much can the body cope every day with stress, with inflammation, stressful job, stressful household. You may not be eating the best all the time. How much stress can you take? So again, let's put it 1 drop in. Each drop is 1 part per million of molecular hydrogen. And you'll see that was able to turn that clear. So the Kangen water was able to reduce the oxidating effects of the methylene blue. It did that because it turned it into leucomethylene blue, which is colourless, which is the reduced form of the methylene blue.